Hi.
So I have started the recording. I'm sharing this. So you want to have a quick discussion on the network watcher, right?
Yes.
The network watcher is a troubleshooting tool. In cloud, we have not got any troubleshooting tools. Right? So earlier in the on-premise, we used to deploy the troubleshooting tool on the on-premise machines or maybe an on-premise server. But here we have got a troubleshooting tools. For example, yeah,
Jiten, your voice is like not clear.
just give me a moment. Let me reconnect.
Okay.
Better now?
I think yes.
I hope it's okay now.
Yes, yes, now it's okay.
So basically, it is a troubleshooting tool which can be used for the troubleshooting purposes. Right? Now, let's say I am creating one virtual machine. If I would be able to connect to this virtual machine, or let's say you have got a server in your organization and you are trying
Okay.
to connect to that server.
So, sorry, your screen is not showing.
So let's say you have got a server in your organization and you are trying to connect to that server, but you are unable to have the connectivity, but you are unable to do so. Now, how can we figure it out? Why we are unable to communicate? Or maybe one machine is trying to communicate to another machine, but the communication is not on. Machines are unable to communicate. So how can we figure it out? So all these troubleshootings can be achieved with the help of network watching. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just creating a virtual machine, and then we will be making use of network watching. So I'm opening portal.azure.com from one more tab, and we would be able to check it from. So here we can type network watcher, the search box. So you would be able to see network watcher here. Now, when you go to the network watcher, so first of all, you would be able to see the topology, right? You would be able to see the topology. Topology means now, let's say you have got one network. In that network, you have got multiple subnets. In the multiple subnets, you have got multiple machines. You have created multiple energy. There is a load balancer. How things are connected to each other. How things are connected to each other, you would be able to see with the help of topology. Basically, it gives you a graphical view that which service is connected to which service. For example, if I click on topology, and let's say I would like to see the topology for resource group number one. So we would like to see the topology for RG1 or the RG1 VNet. In this RG1 VNet, we have only got one machine as of now, right? And that machine will have one subnet, will have one public IP, and will have one private IP. But if you have multiple machines, the diagram would be huge. So with the help of network watcher, we would be able to see the topology of the entire network, how things are connected to each other. So we will be able to see the topology here. Probably it can take like 1 or 2 minutes in order to follow.
So you're still sick, bro? You still have a side effect?
Actually, Sinan, what happened is like I'm unable to work for many hours. Earlier, like I used to work for 12 to 14 hours a day. But now the problem is I need to do my regular shift for 8, 9 hours. And after that, I like, sometimes you feel that you are not left with the energy, right? So what I'm able to do after 8 hour shift, I'm unable to work. I'm unable to wake up early in the morning. If I wake up early in the morning, I'm unable to pass on my complete day. It becomes very hectic for me. So the part is over, but the energy I used to have earlier to work, probably I'm unable to gain that. So I spoke with my doctor. Doctor says it can take 2 to 3 months in order to do the entire recovery. So,
Yeah, it's happened to my uncle. Same thing. He like same thing happened to you after maybe 2 or 3 months. Then like he will be okay. So maybe it's same thing.
and if I try to
Okay.
work for 10 or 11 hours, then for next 2 3 days, I'm unable to work. So now then the condition becomes so worse that I am unable to work for like 2 3 days. So
That's very sad to hear.
yeah, so I'm unable to like work for like earlier I used to work for like minimum 12 to 14 hours a day, but now I'm unable to do so. There is a lot of challenge. Because of that, I was taking one batch for AZ 400. There were a lot of guys, so it was lingering on for a very long time. I have to give that batch to a different trainer because I'm unable to take the batch. So one day I'm able to take it, next 3 days I'm unable to take it. So a lot of issues were there. Okay. So this is the topology. Let's try to see RG1. Network watcher is enabled. So we can go to this network watcher RG. From here we can click on network watcher. This is a network watcher we have. It is taking some time here. It says no network watcher is present in the subscription. Probably it will launch within few minutes, right?
Okay. I have one more doubt for the like ASG and NSG. Like we can apply it on NIC level on
NSG, NSG we can apply at a NIC level. NSG we can also apply at a subnet level. NSG can be applied at both the levels. So NSG can be associated with NIC card as well as and with subnet as well. But ASG we would only be able to associate. ASG we would only be able to associate with NIC.
Okay.
NSG can be done with both. ASG is nothing, it's a part of NSG.
So if we apply both like the NSG on NIC level and subnet, it's not gonna be there. It's like confluent or override. If it,
Okay. So what we usually recommend, instead of assigning the NSG at a NIC card level, we should assign the NSG at a subnet level. For example, let's say you have got, this is one network. Inside this network, you have got one subnet, right? In this subnet, you have got multiple VMs. And for all these VMs, you want the same NSG rule. For all these VMs, you want the same NSG rule. So what we will do, this is the subnet, we will simply apply the NSG at a subnet level. So instead of applying NSG 6 times, what we can do, we can simply apply NSG once at the subnet level. Traffic would only be able to reach out to these VMs if it would be able to qualify the NSG rule. And since same rules are required for all the VMs, so in a single go, we would be able to apply the NSG at a subnet level and we would be able to meet it. Otherwise, we will have to associate the same NSG 6 times with 6 different machines. So recommendation is we should apply it only at a subnet level. But now let's say the requirement is we only need to apply the NSG on VM number one. For VM number one, we want a different rule. Right? For VM number one, we want a different rule. Then probably we will assign it at a NIC level. Then we will assign it at a NIC level.
okay. So if they use like For example, they allow port 80 in the NIC level and they deny it in subnet level. Which one is going to work?
See, if the here at NIC level we have allowed port 80, right? And NSG level we have denied port 80, right?
Yes.
Now let's say traffic is coming from here. Traffic is coming from internet, from some laptop, right? This is my laptop. From here traffic started and it is coming. It is going for the VM number 1. First, it will hit on the subnet. If the traffic is denied on port 80, traffic will be denied here. It would not be able to reach till here, right?
Yes.
Now let's say at NSG level, we have allowed 80. At NSG level, we have allowed 80. But at NIC level, we have denied. What will happen? Traffic will reach to NSG. At NSG level, it is allowed. It would go inside the subnet. It will reach out to the VM. But at VM level, it is denied. Then again, traffic would not be able to enter inside the VM. It will be dropped at a VM level. So in order for the traffic to reach inside the VM, NSG rule as well as NSG applied at the subnet level as well as NSG applied at the NIC level, both the rules should qualify.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
Good.
So instead we can assign, for example, ASG instead of put like energy on the NIC level, right? Gonna be better.
Right. So see, when we apply NSG, now if we need the same rule for all 6 machines, if we need the same rule for all 6 machines, we can simply apply the NSG at a subnet level. But let's say we need some rule only for machine 1, machine 3, and machine 6. Then we can create the ASG. Now with ASG, we will associate the NIC card of 1, 3, and 6. And then we will create a rule for the ASG. That traffic is coming from internet, coming from any port, right? Coming from any port, going to ASG. And we have already associated ASG with 1, 3, and 6. Going on port 80, allow the traffic. So that's how we can do it. So ASG is used for logically grouping machines.
Gotcha.
It's not showing network watcher here. So one thing is we can see the topology. So you can try and do it on your machine. It's fine. Every time it's saying enable network watcher. Although I have deployed network watcher, but still is showing the same thing. Okay. One more thing that we can do is see, I have created a virtual machine. Now let's say we are trying to connect to the virtual machine. Sinan, I hope you got what we can see with the topology. With the topology, we can see a graphical representation. How things
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. But I didn't understand like the IP flow verify NSG diagnostic. Like which
let
one?
Let me explain. See, IP flow verify. What is IP flow verify? I have created a virtual machine number 1, right? This is the public IP of virtual machine number 1, and this is the private IP 10.0.0.4. From my laptop, I am trying to go to VM number 1. From my laptop, I am trying to go to VM number 1. Would I be able to connect VM number 1? What is the local IP? What is the private IP of VM number 1? This is the private. Now let's say from my laptop, I am trying to take the RDP of the VM. RDP we hit on 3389. What is the remote IP? Remote IP will be the public IP of the machine. On which port I am trying to hit? Let's say I am hitting on any port. So from my laptop, I am hitting on the VM number 1 public IP on any port. Then it is hitting on local IP on port 3389. So basically, I am trying to take the RDP of the machine. I click on check. It will check it. It will check the same. If there is any rule that allows the communication to happen, it will show us here. And if there is any rule which is blocking the communication, it will show us here as well. So let's see. Now, instead of taking the RDP of VM number 1, if I'm trying to access VM number 1 as a web server, what I will do, I will say I'm trying to hit on local port 80, or I'm trying to hit on local port 443. If it's a SQL server, database server, maybe I can say I'm trying to access a database server on port 1433. That's how we would be able to do it.
So it's
IP.
already checking the port if it's open or not, let's say that.
Absolutely. It is
Right.
checking whether IP would be able to flow till the VM
Okay.
number 1 private IP or not.
Okay.
Hope you got the clarity.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
So it is again enabling network watcher. So here you would be able to, it would be able to show you the rule. For example, if with this VM number 1 NSG is associated, it will show you there is a rule in the NSG which is allowing the communication. There is a rule in the NSG which is allowing the communication, right? Similarly, let's say you want to check from this VM, would you be able to reach to internet? Then you can, instead of inbound, you can set as an outbound. So from the machine, whether any inbound connection or any outbound connection is allowed or not, we would be able to check with the help of this, right? Okay. Then we have got something called as NSG diagnostics. So in NSG diagnostic, you can say what is the resource rule, what are the supported resources, maybe virtual machine, for which resource you are trying to check, maybe for VM number 1. You want to get the traffic details, TCP traffic details or UDP traffic details. I'm saying TCP traffic details. From what is the source from where the traffic would have came? Maybe I'm saying traffic would have came from internet, right? Destination IP address is so and so. Traffic would be coming on port probably 338. So it will show you all the traffic that has came here, right? NSG diagnostic means if any inbound traffic, whether it was TCP or UDP, the traffic came to this VM number 1. Now from where this traffic came, what is the source? I'm saying traffic is coming from the internet, or I'm saying maybe traffic is coming from my specific public IP of my laptop. What is the destination IP? Where the traffic hit? On the public IP of the machine. On which port it was hitting? Maybe on any port or on 3389 or on port 80. So you can define it. That's how you would be able to check what traffic came in and what traffic went out. So with the help of NSG diagnostic, we would be able to check. See, what does NSG mean? Network Security Group. What traffic came into the NSG? What traffic gone out from the NSG? Can be, all that information can be collected from NSG diagnostic. Any question, any query, anything?
No, let's jump to the next hub.
Now, next stop is, I hope you can remember the firewall lab. In firewall lab, we configured the UDR, user-defined routing. Right?
Right.
In UDR, what we did, there was a machine inside the network. That machine was able to communicate to the internet. Then we said the machine should not be able to communicate to the internet. Whenever the machine is going to the internet, it should go via the firewall.
Next.
Yeah, firewall. Firewall was acting like the next hop.
Right.
So let's consider it as the same VM number 1. VM number 1, we are saying whenever traffic is going from VM number 1 to internet, if we have configured the user-defined route, and if we say next hop, here it will show me the firewall private IP. And right now we know that we have not configured the user-defined route. So here it will show next hop as internet, that we have not created any user-defined routing. It is making use of a system route. Right? There are two kinds of route. So with the help of next hop, we would be able to find out when the traffic is leaving from VM number 1, where would it be hitting first? If we have configured the user-defined routing and we would like to check the user-defined routing that we have configured it correctly or not, we would be able to check it with the help of right?
Okay.
Any questions regarding this next talk?
No.
Then we have something called as effective security rules. What rules we have created in the NSG, what rules are effective can be checked from here. So maybe you're trying to check it for VM number 1 or for VM number 2. Have we associated any NSG with it? Have we got any rules with it? So we would be able to check it from here. Then we have something called as VPN troubleshoot. VPN troubleshoot is like, let's say this is one network. You have got one more network, right? And how can we connect two networks? With the help of peering. We can also connect with the help of VNet to VNet connection. We create virtual network gateways. Let's say we have created virtual network gateways and we have built the connectivity, right? Now, ideally, let's say if I have got a machine here, ideally the machines would be able to communicate. Ideally, machines would be able to communicate. But let's say we have built the virtual network gateway, but the machines are still unable to communicate. How can we do the troubleshooting? So we can make use of VPN troubleshoot. Here, we would be able to see both the VPN. This is virtual network gateway 1. This is virtual network gateway 2. Right? And we have created two connections. Connection number 1 from virtual network gateway 1 to virtual network gateway 2. And connection number 2 from virtual network gateway 2 to virtual network gateway 1. Right? Right. So here, you would be able to see all four. What we can do, we can select all four. Virtual network gateway 1, virtual network gateway 2, there will be checkboxes. Right? Connection number 1, connection number 2, we can select all the checkboxes. We can select all the checkboxes and then there will be an option, start troubleshooting. When we click on start troubleshooting, it will collect a detailed logs that why we are unable to connect. And we have to provide a storage account here. If it's collecting the detailed logs, where those logs will be stored, we will provide the storage account. It will collect the logs, it will store the logs inside the storage account. And now anyone who knows how to read logs would be able to read log and would be able to come to a conclusion that even after creating virtual network gateway, even after connecting, making the connection, why we are unable to communicate. So that is we can do with the help of VPN troubleshoot. Then we have packet capture. If you want to capture the packet that is coming or that is going, we can capture the packets. So packet capture can be done. So maybe packet capture name you can give. Where do you want to store the packet captures? Maybe inside a storage account. This is a storage account. Maximum bytes per packet, minimum bytes per packet, you can define it times it. From here, you would be able to select the .cap capture output file inside the storage. So packets can be captured inside the storage. Then we have something called as connection troubleshoot. Connection troubleshoot is like, let's say from VM number 1, you are trying to communicate to VM number 2 and you are unable to communicate. Okay. So from where? From VM number 1 is a source. What will be the destination? Maybe you are trying to go to VM number 2. I do not have VM number 2, otherwise it will show here VM number 2. So how you are trying to go? Via IPv4 address. Which protocol you are using? TCP protocol. On which destination you are using? Maybe you are trying to take the RDP of VM number 2. Or maybe VM number 2 is a web server. You are trying to hit on port 80. So once here we will select VM number 2, we can click on check. Now, whether we would be able to connect or not, we would be able to see it here. We would be able to see it here. You can also define the source port if you want. So maybe I can say traffic is coming from any port. Right? It's coming from port. Right? So that is how we would be able to check whether there can be connectivity between two machines or. So that is all regarding the network watcher. Any question, any query, Sinan, regarding this?
No.
So I have recorded this video as well. I'll share the recording. I'm stopping the recording now. So I'll share the recording. Probably you can go through this recording 2 or 3 times. If